of our big stories for the day, the Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has said that the executive order introducing zero tariffs, excise duties, and value-added tax on imported pharmaceutical inputs recently signed by President Bola Tinubu has set the stage for a sustainable and high-quality healthcare system for all Nigerians. In a statement, Adeyeye says the order will address core challenges facing the healthcare sector and provide a clear path for improvement. According to her, the order is vital for the success of the Nigerian health sector renewal investment initiative because it will reduce the high cost of medicine by lowering tariffs and providing special waivers. She also said the order will boost the capacity of local manufacturers to create jobs, stimulate economic growth, and reduce dependence on imports, and consequently ensuring a reliable supply of essential healthcare products. And we have in the studios now the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, to look at these issues and others in the sector. Very warm welcome, Prof.
Thank you.
Coming to Newsnight. Good evening. The executive order signed by the President,
yes,
is it like a vehicle that is going to revolutionize the health sector, particularly when you look at how the cost of medicine, so healthcare generally, are in the country?
Yes, the executive order will change the narrative for our manufacturers. This government is bent on local manufacturing, local content. And for pharmaceutical industry, especially the local manufacturers, they have gone through a lot. Because there is nothing that they use in the production or in manufacturing of medicines that they do not import. The only thing that they do not import is water. Therefore, it has been a strain rather on them, especially because of the naira fluctuations and so on. So the fact that the president took this bold move will change the narrative. It will assist the manufacturers with cost, reducing the cost of their inputs for manufacturing. It will eventually reduce the cost of medicines. Yes.
Well, some critics, or health stakeholders will be looking at it that, look, yes, zero tariff, zero tax, no VAT and the rest, but the products being brought in are semi-finished and the rest. What happens to our own, local sources of these materials? Why are we not developing it? You have, for example, a sister agency, the NIPRID, yes, the Nigerian Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development. Yeah. What are they doing?
Actually, that's a good question, but most of the products materials that are brought in are raw materials. They are not semi-finished. We have 180 manufacturers in Nigeria, or about 180 manufacturers in Nigeria, and most of them manufacture using raw materials, not semi-finished products. But your point is also well taken in terms of can we do something in terms of these materials being available, the raw materials being available? The manufacturers are making a lot of efforts to manufacture active pharmaceutical ingredients locally.
How many percentage would you say they've achieved? Let's look at common medications for malaria. That is, very rampant in this part of the world.
We've come a long way. I challenged the industry about 5-6 years ago that we should look inward and do our own. That doesn't mean we're going to get everything locally. But right then, 5-6 years ago, it was about 35% local
inputs,
and 65 or 70% imported. I wanted that to change.
Yeah.
And they took that challenge. So in terms of local manufacturing of active pharmaceutical ingredients, EMZO has almost finished the completion of the building. And I believe that in a very short distance to the future, they're going to be making active ingredients. And they're going to be making artemether, lumefantrine. They're going to be making sulfadoxine, pyrimethamine. These are all anti-malarials. Another consortium of 5-6 companies that is being led by FITSIN will be making antibiotics, will be making some cardiovascular medicines. You know, if we look at where we started from, we've come a long way. Okay. Because maybe 1 or 2 companies make raw materials in Africa. So if about 5-6 companies are now thinking of making raw materials and 1 is about set to go, I think we have really done well. And this executive order will really boost manufacturing. It will reduce the cost of manufacturing and of course you know, increase employment.
Employment, absolutely.
Well, that's all. Increase the GDP.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything kind of ties into
that's one of the, you know, importance of the executive order that is going to generate several thousands of employment.
Yes.
And let's just look about raw materials again, the active ingredients. Like
yes.
you said, I remembered some 30, 40 years ago, the research by the then University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo, in the Atari destined for sickle cell anemia
yes.
and the rest.
Yes.
Why has it not? I know it's not immediately in your purview, but you're a professor, you know, pharmacology, pharmacognosis, and the rest, so a key stakeholder.
Yes.
Why has that not gotten a worldwide effect when you look at the globally affected, you know, they call them warriors
yes.
in the world, particularly in Africa and Nigeria?
You know, we are so blessed in Nigeria with good biodiversity. When it comes to natural medicines, phytomedicines, we are so blessed. And our researchers in the universities have done a lot. But it is translating that research into commercial products. That is where the problem is. But NAFDAC has kind of stood in the gap, so to say, because for natural medicines, you know, herbal medicines, if a manufacturer or local manufacturer submits to us, we look at the safety. Bear in mind, many of these medicines have been used by our forefathers or foremothers before. So they are products that have been used by our ancestors that we are now trying to modernize, so to say. So when they bring it to us, we test it for safety and for few other phytochemistry. And if they are quite safe, we give them a limited approval, what we call listing, 2 years approval. That has helped. And NAFDAC is one of the few organizations in the world that actually have a regulated pathway to approval of phytomedicines.
Okay.
Where the problem is now is the fact that even though it works, even though the patient feels good, we have to demonstrate through research, through clinical research, that if I gather 20 people or 40 people, at least 90% of them good, we feel okay, in which case we have data to back ourselves. That's what I've been observing in my dad or my cousin or whatever in the village is actually working. And that will also open doors for further development.
And the rest and development.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that is where we are. It's translating through clinical research.
Absolutely.
And I believe that this executive order will also boost that.
Okay.
Because the Assembly, National Assembly has been talking about it, that they want traditional medicines to also have a traction. in terms of our healthcare delivery.
Delivery
and
system.
I believe that
yes,
will
they
happen.
have a full-fledged department in the Federal Ministry of Health.
Yes,
that I know.
that's right.
You know, a shadow department and the rest. But how functional, you know, and effective they are these days, I don't know. But let's look at regulations and fake drugs, you know, and beverages, particularly alcohol. More than 70-80% of, you know, alcohol you see on the street, I'm talking of spirits, for example, are all fake. And your, you know, team, they've been around the country busting these fake industries and the rest. How bad really is the situation, particularly on the health of Nigerians, those who consume all this?
Actually, the 70 to 80% is not substantiated with data, but we know that there are people that fake our wines or the imported wines and so on. We are after them. We do raids, even up to yesterday in another market. We did a lot of raids. It is sensitizing our people that you do not buy wine because it's cheap. You go to where you are supposed to get wines, registered
dispensers,
shops, dispensers, supermarkets to get your wine. If it is too cheap to be true, it is not good. But we are stepping up our rates, our enforcement, so that it will not be that attractive to fake wines.
The House of Representatives recently intervened to stop NAFDAC from banning sachet, you know, drinks and the rest, alcohol in sachet water and the rest, and, you know, all sorts. Been going back and forth.
Yes.
You're not putting your feet down and tell those lawmakers that, no, you are the regulator here. You are looking at the health of Nigerians and not the profits a few people will make at the detriment of, you know, the well-being of the people.
Actually, it is a ministerial directive that started it all. This started 2018 when we found out that the alcohol in sachet is between 50 and 95% alcohol. If it is vodka, it's 95%. And NAFDAC started wondering why that high concentration in a small sachet. But we were dialoguing with our manufacturers about even reducing the concentration. However, they took the case to the ministry, and at the point when they took it over to the ministry, it became a ministerial issue. This was 2018, and the minister then, Professor Adeyeye, was very cerebral, you know, because the manufacturers complained that this will affect their business. So there was a 5-year moratorium that was given to phase it out, and which ended January this year, January 31st. So it is a ministerial directive, and that is where it is. We've already done the enforcement, so it is now the ministerial directive that will deal with
the rest of the matter.
Exactly.
Now, before we let you go, there's been this controversy, you know, in the milieu that it's been difficult for laymen to put a finger to. I'm talking about GMO crops, GMO seedlings, maize, tomatoes, some even being attributed that, oh, they want to destroy the farming culture in Africa. If you plant the maize, you don't get another seedlings, you know, to plant again for the next planting season. So you must import from America. And how destructive are they? What research has NAFDAC done to this effect? Actually,
NAFDAC has not done research to this effect. We have the biodiversity, I think it's bioethics or biodiversity agency. We also have biotechnology.
Biotechnology,
yes, agency. We also have the seedling group that are in charge of seeds. So the Ministry of Agric is more into this than NAFDAC.
Yeah, but NAFDAC has to say...
But NAFDAC also is on the lookout. We have not registered a single GMO product. We have not registered a single GMO product because we are sensitive about it. So we leave the agency that is supposed to take care of it to give us an advice on good or bad, this. But right now, we have not done anything.
Yeah,
but in terms of GMO,
yeah,
we do not think it is safe. We don't think it is safe for our own consumption.
That's the position of
NAFDAC, exactly.
Why do you think so?
First, because a lot of research has not been done in terms of the safety of GMO products, and the genetics of the seeds have been modified. Until we get a very convincing data to show the safety, we keep
for human consumption or for African consumption.
For human consumption.
Yeah, because why I asked this question, like I said, it's been the milieu and a finger is being pointed to a particularly world billionaire Bill Gates and his foundation, and you understand. So we needed this kind of clarification, which is of course near scientific. Your organization is regulatory when it comes to Food and Drugs Administration. But GMO, hearing it from you and the public,
yes,
is not safe.
It's not safe for us in terms of NAFDAC's perspective.
Yeah.
GMO can be used for non-food crops. It can be used to make sure that timber grows better, for furniture,
the rubber plantation,
things like that.
Yeah.
But for human consumption, we don't have evidence that it is safe. And that's where we are.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
No better place to drop the anchor.
Thank you so much.
Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, Director General, National Agency for Food, Drugs Administration and Control.
Thank you. Thank you so much.